Well, I haven't gotten to enjoying the machine quite yet, but the main issues were the belts. Like even when we were putting it together on stream, they're hooked on by these little alligator clips on either side, and the alligator clips just ripped off. Yeah, there was no errors or anything, so I didn't know what to fix. It was just shutting off in the middle of the engraving. I tried, different outlets, and I tried.
You were getting into like 3 or 4 hour jobs, like
Took it
halfway
apart.
into those jobs, and it would just turn off.
It was very frustrating. I wasted like a lot of wood, probably. So I was like, I was told to maybe ask for like a firmware update, and they were like, "Do you need this Mac OS thing?" No, I don't. And then so like I told them a little bit in more detail what I needed, and then they were like, "I think you need this Mac OS thing." I'm like, "I'm not using a Mac. I don't need a Mac OS thing."
Cause it's easy peach, easy go. I see you turning on the fucking stream.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Laser Source Podcast, the #1 podcast if you're looking to play with lasers in your off time or you don't want to go to work anymore. If that sounds like you, stick around because we've got a lot of awesome, fun laser talk. Boyce is apparently on his way now. That was a very nice Oompa Loompa entrance. There's some people with me today. It's Chris and Rheannon, all the way out from California. They're here doing stuff. And Kyle's here. Hi, Kyle.
Hey, bud.
Nice headphones.
Yeah.
Mr. Botterford. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic.
Bro, we need to rectify that. Like ATEZR.
I don't think you're allowed to talk about that body part.
It's physically causing me pain.
It is also physically causing me pain. It was so nice and like lit up, it was like a little feature over there. Could like look at it. And Boyce is now joining us. Boyce 7.0. He's not really ready yet.
My eyes hurt.
I added him to the call too early. Why do your eyes hurt? From the lights?
From the yellow shirt.
Oh yeah, Boyce lives a high vis lifestyle. For
He
sure.
was just doing like a one testicle thing, like really live strong.
Boyce does what he can when he can do it. Matt, that's a really nice looking sign, dude.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
So is it acrylic?
Yeah, so it's a big acrylic. There you go. It's an 18 by 18 inch engrave, and then it's 24 tall by 30 or 28 wide, I think, something like that. And it's got the LED standoffs. And I've been trying to figure out something, like we've been talking about, like ways to do like a backdrop for when you're taking pictures for different items and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if it's going to stay over here or if I'm going to put it over there. So basically I got like a really cool backdrop when I take pictures, like cutting boards and cups. So then it's always just there. So that's my thought. But it took about an hour and a half for the engrave and probably like 20 minutes for the, not 20 minutes, sorry, 3 minutes for the cutting.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like 27 minutes later.
You got some standard like JDS standoffs there. What are those? 1 inch?
So those are 1 inch by 1 inch, I believe. And then they're standard LED standoffs. So basically it comes with, just so anybody knows, I can tell you guys the parts later if you want, but it's 3/16 smoky gray acrylic, and I left the back covering on. So that way it's reflective on the front instead of like visible through, because you do, for like that to work, you either got to use like nuts and a nut, a washer, and like a bolt to hold it all together, or you can just, what I did is I put 2 pieces of 1x4 on the back so that basically I can mount it or hang it or do whatever later. Yeah. So, but it's pretty sweet that way. You just literally push it right through, drill it in, and you got yourself a sign. And I sold one just like that, but a little bit bigger, for $500 before. So if anybody's looking for like a good return on your acrylic, there you go.
Solid.
So, I know.
Cool. And then you went, did I hear you say you went for the plywood for the backer?
No, it's a 1x4. So you could use plywood for sure. But the thing is,
You were like debating whether or not you were going to just spray paint some board or.
yeah, I got you. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was like literally thinking about using plywood, but the thing is, it just looks so much nicer. So I've got pictures I can show you later. But literally, what's cool about the smoky gray acrylic on the background is the lights from in front of it actually reflect on the background. So as you're moving around the sign, you get like a really cool like ghosting effect from the lighting. Or you could just turn it off and it looks nice. You know, no ghosting effect. But it's really cool. So I'm pretty excited about it because I don't know about any of you guys, but I literally have done nothing for myself in like the past, I don't know, probably 2.5 months. It's like all Christmas shit. Yeah. So pretty excited about that. There you go.
Nice, man. That's sick. Yeah. I've been really busy too. Kyle and I finally started doing some fun stuff yesterday. I'm never doing a anodized aluminum business card on the fiber ever again.
Really?
I did one on the UV, and it's pretty incredible. I'll see if I can pull up a picture of it. While I do that, Boyce, how's your week been, man? Did you have a nice weekend? You keeping busy? What's going on over there?
Well, the weekend was fine, but the problem is our Eon went down. One of the stepper motors.
Oh yeah, the X-axis, right?
And so so they overnighted. Again, guys, shout out to Eon, the best customer service. Overnighted the part to me and all the pieces and the belts, all the just in cases. They sent everything. When it turns out, it looks like it's just a wire had maybe like arced or something and burnt out.
Yeah.
But they gave me the motor, the belt, and all the stuff just in case. And so I'm waiting on him to get back to me. I was over there. That's why I was here a little late because I was going back. I just removed some wiring. And he told me he's going to give me the next step. So I'm just walking me through it step by step and sending me pictures and videos and get that X-axis up. We can finish up these last 7 or 8 jobs we got before Christmas. So yeah, it's going to be tough.
Just like super last minute. What kind of jobs are they that you're working on trying to get out of there?
Now it's just family.
Oh, just family stuff.
Yeah. So
her sister, are you done with like commission work?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We had 2 people call up or message us last week on our Facebook page and said, "Hey, can you do?" Because we did that memorial piece of her cousin, but that took us hours to tweak the image and practice running that. So he's like, "Hey, could you do one for my girlfriend? Her mom passed away this year. This and that," and he sends me a less than quality photos, like a picture of a printed picture.
Yikes.
So it's just not a great pitch. It's glossy and shiny. I'm like, dude, that quality's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
I told him it's not gonna be before Christmas because it's gonna take me hours of playing with it, and I just don't feel like it right now, honestly. But yeah, so we got a couple little things like that, friends and family that want last second things. It's just not gonna happen. But we're gonna see what we can do. Do our best.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, at least you're not like Matt Botiferring with a broken X-axis, So you've got a little like kind of leeway there. You can always tell friends and family,
Yeah, next week.
You can throw your shoulders up, and just kind of be like, sorry. Yeah, it's not great. I'm not saying it's ideal, but you can do it.
Meanwhile, today I literally had a guy who I asked him a long time ago, "Hey, for your company, do you want these gifts made?" And he's like, "No, we'll think about it today." And I'm appreciative of the work, but he literally calls me. He's like, "Hey, I need like 15 cutting boards and they have to be done by next Tuesday, at the latest. And I need those. And also I want a discount." I'm like, yeah. So we didn't do the discount, but he's getting them by next Tuesday because he does a lot of stuff. Yeah. But then a coach was like, "Hey, can you get water bottles done before Christmas?" So like 26 water bottles done. And it's just so much money. Like, how do you say no?
So you said yes.
Yes.
So, like, you should have gotten that CO2 Galvo, man.
I mean, it'll be fine. I literally 3D printed my little wrap and then like jigged it with some tape so I know where I've got to like put everything, the 2 different sides. So I learned a lot last time to I think where I got it down to like 6 minutes a bottle. So and also I told Lady I will not do a 2-sided engrave for that price. It costs more. And she's like, "We could just do the one side. It's fine." And I was like, okay. So it'll be like probably 3 or 4 minutes a bottle and you won't hear me bitch once. So,
I mean, it beats tying the strings on the ornaments, right?
Those ornaments. By the way, I got paid for them today, so I felt a lot better. Actually, I appreciate those ornaments.
Nice, nice.
Now that I got my paycheck, I feel better about them.
So one of the things that Kyle and I were working on, I don't know if you've actually seen these yet, Kyle, but this
I
is
haven't seen the new ones you were getting on.
So here's Nugget. This was done on the UV, on just a regular anodized business card.
Damn.
This is 55 millimeters by 86 millimeters, roughly, right?
Yep, normal business card size. It was done at 820 DPI without overlapping.
Wow. How long did that take?
It took about 6 minutes, which really is not.
Yeah, it's killer.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, 6 minutes. I'm happy to wait 6 minutes.
Yeah.
We also have, so I pulled up Google Photos on that one because it's pretty small, but this is what those eyes look like close up.
That's
which
wild.
is pretty incredible. And then this is maximum zoom. So you guys have seen the line distance on my, on like anodized cards that I've done on the fiber, like in the timing video and stuff. This is literally the size of the dots that we're working with on max zoom, which is just, it's hard to wrap your mind around unless you have something on the top of your head that you can compare it with. But it's intense, man. This is just that zipper and like some of that wool there.
Dude, look at the wool. That you can literally see every little tuft. That's wild, dude.
This is a super close up on a like 100% white area on a different photo that I had done. So you can see the lines. Like,
it's got striations.
Just barely touching, right? This is like perfect spacing. And then this is a shot from that same project right there. Again, fairly close to max zoom. So.
Is that Miranda?
Yes, and I won't be, I don't think, using the fiber to do photos anymore, because they just look, they're, so I mean, if you think about it, most like home and commercial printers that like print stuff print around 300 DPI, so this is 2.5 times the resolution that like an inkjet can do. So that's a pretty cool way to think about it. But yeah, so that's what I was up to yesterday. That, and we got the compound CO2 lenses in. I'm not ready to talk about them yet, but the short version is they're disappointing. So they're not bad. They're just not good enough to justify.
I'm not angry.
I'm
just disappointed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. But anyway, I don't want to bury the lead. Chris and Rheannon are here. How was
Hi.
How was coming out from California?
It's terrible.
How was it flying across the country?
Lost our bags for a little bit there.
Shit.
And
for a little bit, it was days.
Few days. And then we'll go pick them up ourselves at the Buffalo airport. And then what else? Yeah, our flights got canceled and missed, and
get a new flight.
Yeah, we got like loaded onto a plane, and they were like, "Yep, the engine's broken on this one."
Oh shit!
And they're like, "You have to get back off." And I was like, "All right, for that, it's fair."
It's like the only thing you could have said to get me off this plane.
No one figured it out until everyone sat down for at least a half an hour, right?
Yep.
Like no one's like, we shouldn't test the engines before people get on. That would be fucking dumb. Let's wait until everybody's on and they can see it smoking.
And you've kind of told me a little bit, but you've had kind of an equally bad time with the ATEZR. The last time we saw you with the ATEZR, we were unboxing it.
Yes.
And we were super stoked about it. It seemed like a super nice X-Tool clone. And it's kind of fallen apart for you since then.
It has fallen apart a few times, and every time it comes back stronger. And then
no thanks to ATEZR.
Yeah, well, I think customer service kind of ghosted me at this point, but I'm my own customer service now, and nice. I know the thing inside and out, and fixed it up, and it should be working 100% now.
Can you? And I'm sure like we'll hear about it in your review, but like, can you just touch on like the two biggest issues that you've had so far? Because a lot of people have actually been asking me about it personally, and talking about it amongst each other because ATEZR just announced a 35 watt diode laser module for their systems, which is ridiculous. But everybody's like, oh, should I get the ATEZR? And I'm like, I don't know if Chris would support that decision right now. Like, I'm not sure how his review is going to go. So what's gone wrong, and how jaded have you become, or if at all, or are you able to look past it and kind of enjoy the machine?
Well, I haven't gotten to enjoying the machine quite yet, but the main issues were the belts. Like, even when we were putting it together on stream, they're hooked on by these little alligator clips on either side, and the alligator clips just ripped off. And I got some pliers out and like reattached it, made it, thought it was snug, put it back in, added a little tension, and it just flew off again. A couple times I lost them. I had to search on the floor for them. And eventually we ended up just tossing out all the alligator clips and using wire instead, which I don't know. Do you want me to explain that?
Yeah, you like bound it.
Sure, yeah. So we took the belt, we put a wire like in the middle of it and folded the belt around it and then wound it around nice and tight. And that's held up pretty well since.
That's a smart fix, dude. Good job on that.
I have to give Rheannon credit for part of that. She she gave me the wire idea, and then I found out a way to execute that.
Yeah.
By part of the credit, you mean like all the credit.
We see where the true brains are now. I got
and
you.
then the other one's especially frustrating because I know at the very least Kyle and I have spent a handful of hours on the phone with you while you struggled with this issue.
Whipped. I was turning off in the middle of engraving, and I wasn't getting like any error codes. Like, I know with the AL1, I was getting an error code, and that was just shock or movement. And all I did for that was just max out the shock and movement sensitivity so I could throw it against the wall and it would just fire around the room.
Yeah.
Which, only do on occasion. But so yeah, there was no errors or anything, so I didn't know what to fix. It was just shutting off in the middle of the engraving. I tried, different outlets, and I tried.
You were getting into like 3 or 4 hour jobs, like
took it
halfway
apart.
into those jobs, and it would just turn off.
It was very frustrating. I wasted like a lot of wood, probably like, I don't know, 15, 12 by 20 pieces of wood trying to engrave stuff. So it was just frustrating, and I was feeling pretty discouraged with like engraving stuff just because everything I was trying was just getting ruined and I was just wasting material at that point. But I ended up like swapping out the a power cable that plugs into the battery bar thing, and that ended up, I think, being the problem. So
this whole time it was just, and not even the power supply, like not even the brick, right? Like literally the cable that goes from the wall to the power supply, and replacing that fixed
what the hell?
issue
I
randomly.
was having I thought it might be a light burn issue because I tried uninstalling and reinstalling light burn. I thought maybe that had worked at one point, but then it started happening like after one job because I got through one job. I wasn't able to even get one done.
Yeah.
And then I finally got through one, and then it happened on the next thing I ran
So
out. So
when you said that it was messing up, was it just like not firing properly, or was it like,
no, it would just stop.
Oh shit.
Like the fans of the laser would continue to run. Everything was on still. It would just stop engraving. And then like I couldn't resume or anything like that. The timer on Lightburn just kept running.
There's nothing in the Gerbil console.
I opened up like the G code, and the code just stops. There's no errors or explanation as to what happened. It just stopped.
See, and I think most people know that you're a pretty chill guy, and I actually watched you get pissed off and like just rage quit one night, and I was like, okay, well, that's got to be pretty frustrating. Like,
Chris on camera are two different people. I can.
By the way, your rage quit, by the way, was like one of the calmest ones. You were like, well, I am done with this tonight. And that was it. So
you catch me playing Overwatch, and then get some keyboards and monitors flying around.
Yeah.
So what all ended up working for you then? Like, what happened?
It was the power cable.
Yeah, just
That's
the power
crazy.
cable.
That's crazy, dude.
Swapped it out, and I mean, it could be anything else. I tried so many things to fix it, and nothing was working. So maybe I did something else other than swap the power cable that ended up doing it that I just can't remember. But
Well,
the list of things that I tried.
It could have been a couple things stacked up. It could have been a complex issue, and you just happen to get the last thing there at the end.
The
Gave it the
coupler
user's
on
touch.
the axle was missing a screw. And I remember assembling it for the first time and that screw missing. And I thought it was just meant to be like that. But
that's fine.
so like, I even noticed like my engraving just started, moving one side of the, I don't know, the thing.
The
The thing.
x-axis.
The
Yeah.
x-axis. And then it
Or the
wasn't
Y.
moving the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found a spare screw and screwed it in there and redid all the tension on the bands, and
It's a good old
I don't know.
Jimmy fix.
it seems to be working now. I don't know. Well,
The
see.
thing that made me the most upset about this whole experience was that I was like, Chris, the first thing I always go to, especially with the small diode machines, is updating the firmware. I'm like, have you updated the firmware? Because firmware does weird stuff, especially when it's not finished. And they don't have firmware available anywhere on their website. You can't tell what version the device is on, and you can't tell what version is the most recent version. And you have to email support in order to get the firmware. And when Chris did that, they just straight up refused to give it to him. They were just like, no.
Yeah, the first thing, so I was like, yeah, I was told to maybe ask for like a firmware update, and they were like, do you need this Mac OS thing? No, I don't. And then so like I told them a little bit in more detail what I needed, and then they were like, I think you need this Mac OS thing. I'm like, I'm not using a Mac. I don't need a Mac OS thing.
Listen, we know what you need, buddy. Okay, just stay calm over there. Like, oh my god.
Randy H is asking, do Chris and Rhiannon have a YouTube? They don't.
We have an Instagram.
I have so many good YouTube ideas for you though that would be like a really big hit. But they do have an Instagram account which is linked down in the description already.
Ooh,
It's
a surprise.
it's I guess it's a surprise. Check the link called Get Brocked. It's down in the description. I really want Chris to start a YouTube channel where the little like kid and teenager like science maker kits that you can get online with like dude, I want Chris to start a channel where he just fucking reviews those.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Like he does them, he puts them together.
I'd start one of those channels. I'd like put this thing, or I'd get halfway putting it together. And be like, I don't know what the heck is going on.
You're an engineer. You could probably find a better way to put it together than the way the instructions
On the
say.
box it says made by ATEZR.
Yeah. And then you've also learned recently too the swift punishment for destroying Yetis.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Did you try just hitting it again?
Oh yeah, I mean that's kind of what I did. I just kept hitting it, and no matter how hard I hit it, it just the shadowing was still there.
Just never got better.
It was,
Can I just give you
really
props
deep
though
mode.
for not hitting it and quitting it? I think that's really good of you.
No, I stick around.
I told Chris that the next time that he does a bottle for a friend, he should try to talk them into an Arctic instead.
Yeah.
That way you can mess up 3 Arctics for every Yeti,
Yeah.
maybe 4.
Well, the one that they had was a dark forest green, and they don't make that one anymore. And I won't say the price because I don't actually know it. I'll let Rhiannon say it because I keep
actually know it either.
I keep
It
overestimating.
was between
the price.
$150 and
It's
$200
expensive.
It's expensive
on
typically.
eBay because they're not
Amazon.
being made anymore,
Oh
which
my
is crazy.
My
'Cause
bad.
someone out there is buying a $200 Yeti, but
Like, by the way, yeah, if that's the case, like, you should just be charging. You should do nothing free for that person.
yeah,
The engraving will be $500.
I have stated at work that I'm starting to charge for anything. So
You know what I've done that's been really useful? Because again, teacher, like 150 people just kind of Hey, bud, how's it going? Quick question for you. I literally just have a sheet now that I posted on my wall, and it says like 20-ounce cups, this much. Have your own cup, this much. And that's it. And so people, like a lady today, literally brought me 5 cups, and she's like, I just need those by next Friday. But it's the same thing on every cup. So it's really easy. And I think it's like $12 for like a cup. And I said for Yetis, it's 15 because whatever. And they're like, I said, Yetis are they're more. I tried to explain to these people that they're the exact same cup made with like a wall in between. Like, here's company A and here's company B. And they're like, yeah, but Yetis are better, right? And I'm like, sure. They're amazing. They actually they fart sparkles. So yes, they are sparkle fart machines. So anyways, and then that's been really useful. People are like, oh, that's great. Okay, I'll just bring them to you. So don't be afraid to start charging, dude.
Yeah,
for sure. Make money.
Dave Wilson says, out here on the West Coast too, 30-watt fiber laser being delivered tomorrow. Christmas gift for
Yay.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Enjoy the new toy. I mean tool.
One of the reasons that Chris has been so excited to get his hands on CO2 is because he's using his diodes to do a lot of cutting. He wants to cut like card boxes for like Pokemon cards and stuff like that.
Man.
And Kyle, weren't you just telling me about, because I don't think I talked to Chris about this yet, weren't you just telling me about like a box maker of sorts that was being added?
Yeah, I didn't quite get the entire gist of it, but it looks like Lightburn just added support for doing adjustments to like finger jig kind of, or not finger jig,
Nice.
finger joint holes.
Yeah,
That would be really
I haven't read into it, so but
I feel like a lot of stuff being sold on Etsy.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
I would be looking forward to maybe a gantry crash course episode on that at some point. Way down the road.
I don't know if it's out live yet. I saw it in the patch notes.
Yep.
So we'll get to it for sure.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Just because, like, as I'm putting together those boxes, if like I keep thinking to myself, like, if this was just like a little down or move it over, and then I'm like, it's too much work. I'll just cut it the way it is. So if they made it easier to like move that stuff around, I think that would be really helpful.
That's one of the files that I absolutely don't mind paying for from a person who I know makes them well, because when everything fits right and they tell you exactly what materials you need, you know, like I made that mistake when I first started. I bought one of those and it didn't tell me what like depth or width material to use, and so I literally cut like it was a perfect file, but it didn't tell me 3/16 or 1/8 or anything, and so I ended up having like shit not fitting, and it was just money wasted.
Yeah.
Randy H has clicked the link down in the description that says get brocked. If you haven't, definitely go check that out.
Go get brocked.
Go get brocked. Man, we're like 30 minutes in ish, and that is, I've exhausted my list. Maybe people watching have questions. Kyle and I always like answering questions.
Me too.
I just sit here looking for
questions.
Ask me
people are working on asking
Don't talk
questions.
about yourself like that, Matt. You do an important job here. Okay, if we didn't have you, people would be vomiting while they were trying to speak. So
You're fantastic.
Yeah, you're fantastic.
Not anymore. Anyways, all right, enough about me. What were you saying, Kyle?
I was going to say, well, we're waiting for some people to share some questions they have. I did this.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You got a box of stuff.
I did.
Are you going to talk about the box? Talk about the box.
The box.
I don't want to talk about the box yet.
You're going to wait to talk about the box?
What I did. Yeah. I'll grab the other mug I did too. But
okay.
I'm super happy with that gold.
Yeah, that gold looks great, dude.
Mm-hmm.
As someone
that was he did that cylinder correction, by the way. Yeah, that was projected.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like that. See, like hold yours up again real quick. Let's compare golds. Yours is almost like a light gold. That's really nice. Like one of the things, if you guys remember, like we had someone on the show a long time ago who did like pictures and stuff.
How'd they do?
And
look, man, I made it darker.
No, but I'm saying you can like change the settings and make it like a light gold or almost like a rose gold and all kinds of stuff. It's really
Kyle
cool.
had less play in his settings than most people that work with the like 2-ply leatherette because Kyle was doing cylinder correction.
Cylinder correction is wild.
Yeah, he got all the way around and it's even.
Because, yeah.
Didn't
So
you make
to
another
get
cup?
really even color. Say again?
Didn't you make another cup?
I did. You want to see the other cup?
I would love to.
It's across the room.
While Kyle gets that,
It'd be worth
John
it.
Cypress says, my laser came with EasyCAD. Would you skip and just go straight to light burn? Yes, but big asterisk. Make sure that you open EasyCAD
So
once.
cool.
If you have the ability, if you're on Windows, open it, look at the F3 param, know what settings your Mark Config 7 are supposed to be importing when you import it, and just kind of familiarize yourself with the way things are set up by default, and make sure that you have access to go back to EasyCAD if needed to reference things or make small changes or use as kind of like a factory reset button.
Yeah.
If things get out of control in Lightburn, it's handy to be able to get in there even if you don't plan on using the software. So that would be my exception to that rule.
My suggestion would be watch the crash course from episode 1 to 3, and that'll give you so much information on everything that you're looking for right now.
Yeah, the
And then
Galvo
keep
crash
watching.
course.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
keep
And then,
watching.
for sure. But 1 through 3 literally is like all that stuff. And then the rest is like, then you realize how like good you get stuff going, and you're like, oh, I can make things like in 2 minutes. And then you start realizing like, oh, it's because of the videos.
Yeah,
Yeah. Let me see that leather again, Kyle.
That's what I want to see too.
the brown one. Yeah,
Oh,
Hold on a
yeah.
second. Hold on. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool, dude. Ooh.
That is.
And you tend to find too, like I was originally having difficulty with the reindeer across the top because of the hatch settings where it gets really, really tight and you do really small, areas of the vector. It would burn in really good there, and then like other sections of it would still need a second pass. But I got it pretty fine
Hold
tuned
on.
now.
One thing I want to say that you got fine tuned for sure is look at where the sleigh curves, like so basically where his hands are holding the reins, and underneath like that little tiny slight piece right there is so defined. That's, by the way, was that like a 0 cleanup pass, or did you have like a little bit of cleanup?
I didn't touch this at all.
That's
It's literally straight off the
magic.
blazer. Same
David.
with the gold on black.
Dave Wilson wants to know what laser you used for those.
Both of those were done on my 60-watt Wisely with a 300 lens.
So fiber.
And that was cylinder correction. And then what was your frequency? Were you like higher frequency on those to keep it from getting all crazy?
It was higher frequency, yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it on lower frequency lasers if they have a lower passive Q pulse. Maybe I'll venture into that at some point, but I have some stuff I got to get to first.
And that's PU leather, right?
Yes.
Not vinyl.
Yep, it is.
Like to point that
It's
out.
polyurethane leather. It's laser safe. It's actually designed for lasering. So
A lot of faux
It does have
leather is
that
not
plastic
laser
stinginess.
safe. So make sure that you're marking the right leather. If your vendor doesn't know what the difference is between those two, then you should probably not be buying it. So
Either way, lots of ventilation because that stuff gets smoky.
it gets smoky. It smells like nasty plastic.
But
But that's part of the reason why you got to be careful if it's vinyl or not. If it doesn't specifically say it's meant to be lasered, you could be in for a nasty surprise and maybe a hospital visit.
and go ahead.
I was just going to say, Miley's marking and routering wants to know, do you think the Mayan civilization used focused light to cut and print on stones like the fiber laser?
Yeah, they were aliens.
There you go. They were aliens.
Totes me goats.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say, sorry, what I was gonna say is I kept a straight face for like 10 seconds. That was pretty good. That was actually a question that was asked the other day in the Laser Everything Facebook group. I think it was either this weekend or last weekend. Someone had said like, "What is vegan leather?" was the only question that was asked, and that's basically what they're talking about. Vegan leather is manufactured synthetic leather, but like both these guys just said, make sure you know if it's laser safe or not. Kind of important.
Yeah. Vegan leather just means it comes from either
Not
plants or it doesn't come from an animal. But it does mean it could be a nasty ass plastic. And sometimes that's bad.
God, Alex just got an upgrade. Look at this.
Alex just grew like 1.5 foot of hair.
And he seems so much more palatable. I mean, look at that.
He looks ready for a Led Zeppelin concert.
Miranda looks like she's got a healthy. Miranda's got a healthy glow of sun from like back in the back here. Sorry,
all right, I'm running the podcast now.
Look at me. I am the captain now. So, Chris.
Yes.
What's going on? How's it going with fibers? So I know the diode sucks for you.
Well, I tried to do those Yetis and brutally failed on the first one, but then I came back on the second one that I ended up using it to replace it, which was just a black one because again they didn't have that deep forest green kind of color. And that one came out pretty smooth. I was still pulling away part of the steel on that one. So I still didn't have it dialed in, but I at least didn't completely change the focus in the middle of that one. So that's good.
By the way, that definitely is fun to watch. But like, what were you doing it on, the EM Smart, or were you doing it on the? It
was on the EM Smart, yeah. Because like I don't have a rotary for the ATEZR. I have one for the AL1, but I know those are on rollers, and I don't know. I don't think it would come out as well, but maybe I pull back on the bottles for now. But I don't know. Let's see. I haven't really done much else. I did the slate things, but they've seen that. I made some slate coasters for a wedding, but that was a while ago now. And then I've messed around with some of the anodized aluminum cards, but I want to do some magic card kind of stuff for it, which I have ideas for, maybe some Christmas gifts for some friends. But Rheannon does digital art, and it's a slow process to get her to get down on her list of stuff for me to engrave, but I have some custom stuff I want her to make, so it'll be cool. Man. Yeah. It
is my favorite material. How did you enjoy it?
What is?
Slate has got to be my favorite material.
Oh, I actually had a lot of fun with that because that was like right after I got the fiber. And
it's forgiving and it's fun.
Yeah. And I just like jacked up the power.
Yeah, there you go.
And just had so much fun with it. Yeah, like you can get really good contrast and stuff. I was really worried because again, this is like 3 days after owning fiber laser. I was a little worried about how long it would take because it was like, oh man, this is gonna take like 5 or 6 minutes each. And then I'd learned about like flood fill and bi-directional and changed my life.
What? Okay, well, 2 things real quick. Going over to the comments here. Randy asked a question, which kind of goes with what we're talking about. Looking for suggestion for a fume extractor for the fiber laser. Sadly, I can't plumb outside for this one, so no busting through walls, which is always my number one suggestion, man. Bust through that wall.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Of course, doing exterior venting is going to make everything easier, but there are some circumstances where that's just not possible. So first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you get a quality one. So there is one linked in the buying guide. The problem with that one right now is that it's sometimes hard to get your filters and they do clog up. So if you're doing organics, it's going to clog up really quickly. And if you're doing something that gives off a lot of soot, so anything like rock where you're physically basically making sand, slate, which you're basically making like rock dust, anything like that, where it's not like just heavy metal, because a lot of the time the heavy metal will just sit in the duct ribbings. It doesn't really always get to the filter except for the fine particulate, which is usually airborne. And Jack makes a good point. Carbon filter is going to help a lot too, depending on what you're engraving.
Charcoal too.
Yep. Well, that
charcoal is carbon. Yeah.
So check out something like that. we've heard some nicer units are kind of on their way onto the market. So
And Michael,
we're looking into those in the coming months because we know that's kind of a demanded subject that a lot of people are looking for. But and then you have like the higher end units that are around, but those are going to run you a couple of grand easy, and the filters are very expensive.
but if you're working with metals and stuff, though, that's very worth it to not have like COPD or some other crazy lung problem later on.
Yeah. Yeah. So pro tip, with a fiber, you're probably going to be doing metal. Metal doesn't get metabolized by the body or pulled out. Once it's in your lungs and it's staying there. So make sure you have good filtration or good extraction, one of the two. Yeah, actually, to plug Michael from Thursday, Laser 911. A link is in the description of Thursday's podcast, and it might be in today's. He did a review on some extraction units.
Cheaper and more expensive.
Yeah, well, I think both of his are expensive. It's just one.
Well, he called it cheaper.
It is cheaper.
Yeah.
Than the really expensive.
Yeah, 2K or 5K.
Yeah. I don't know the actual cost on them, but go check that out if you need like a good quality setup. He did do a good deep dive on those, and I think that's probably your best bet for content, at least that I'm aware of, that compares to specific units. And I'm thinking we'll probably look into that sometime this year too.
There you go. And
Not
by the way,
units, but
yeah. And so he already said thanks for the reply. Appreciate you there, bud. It's a good question. All right. So real quick, I think this was for new Alex. Said Ortur is about to release or has just released a Chuck rotary.
Oh, neat.
Good to know.
I'm holding out for the CO2 because, like Alex said, no matter how much you hit the powder coating on a water bottle with the CO2, you're not going to ablate the metal. So yeah. Oh well,
it's accurate for both, but yeah.
But yeah, the speed as well. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could probably swap back to the diode. That would be nice. I don't know what I'm talking about at this point.
I look really pretty on camera with the long hair.
I'm just here to look pretty.
Here we go. Do you have any tips to sell your wares through e-commerce, Etsy, or Shopify? I has a Shopify.
Yeah, Matt is our resident online sales representative.
Yeah, right. So a couple of things. I mean, you guys can chime in too. So number one, I'll leave it up here. So e-commerce, one of the biggest things is SEO, like getting people to go to your site. That is the hardest part. So it's really easy to start up a website. You go to GoDaddy.com, you look for a domain, you register the domain, you pay for the domain, and now you has a website, right? You've got a domain. But then you've got to apply an e-commerce, which is like a skin to your website, the programming and all that stuff. So if you're someone who is looking for it, Wix is an option that a lot of people use that I don't have success with it. And it's pretty cheap. I don't know the pricing. I think it was like $15 to $20. Like they have different tiers of pricing. But basically that's where the great thing about Wix is it's like you make something that's not customized. It's just like a product that is always the same. And when you do it, you click it, bada bing, bada boom. And then Jack is saying web starts and Wix. Yep. I don't know much about web starts. I do know Wix is really nice looking. The Etsy, by the way, is a great way to learn how to put products onto the internet because it literally teaches you like it's real. I actually like the way Etsy is set up for learning how to do e-commerce because it says like a picture from the side, a picture from the other side, front, back, high angle, low angle. And it makes you think about things that you probably wouldn't think about because I would just be like, picture, buy the thing. Then it asks you for a description. And the cool thing is you can actually then kind of copy and paste all that stuff up onto your Shopify or onto your Wix. Jack in the shop is saying he has web starts and it's $160 a year. So that's pretty sweet. I mean,
that's solid.
that comes in at like $13 a month, basically. So that's pretty good. And then I guess the more expensive option would be Shopify, which is what I've got. I pay the $30 a month option. The cool thing is you do get discounted shipping through Shopify using UPS and USPS. You get basically access to, like, it connects to QuickBooks. It connects to all these different things. So it's really, really good about working together with a few different programs and stuff like that. I mean, Alex, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts on Shopify, Alex?
Shopify, yes, it's a thing that you sell stuff on. I know it has a really expensive stock price. Shop is in the name.
Mm-hmm. So is a pie.
So it sounds like a great place to shop. Gotta really get Alex back over here.
What's great is Callio from Wisely Laser is like, what the hell is going on with Alex right now?
Is Callio here?
Yeah, he's listening to Alex talk about the new Alex. He's listening to the new Alex talk about Shopify and his thoughts on it.
Rhiannon's an SEO analyst.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing back there letting me talk, bro? Like, step up. Put on the Ellie hat.
About Shopify.
Well, fuck Shopify. Talk about SEO optimization. Like, let's go.
I do it for dentists, but I don't know. You want to make your website good. You want to content is key. That's what we tell everyone. So make sure you have really good content on your websites. And then headers, meta titles. That's everything that shows up.
So I want you to explain meta titles like I'm a 5-year-old.
Yeah. So a meta title and a meta description are like little, I guess, descriptions of your website.
It's the meta, bro.
Yeah, the meta, man. No, it's what you just put on your the search results page of Google. So you basically want like your key terms within there. So if you're selling something, you probably want the product title.
So instead of putting cup, you would put like tumbler, cup, engraved item, like everything, right? So
kind of.
But you got to think about the people who are taking a shit at 2 a.m. thinking about ordering this item.
Right.
Should it be human readable or machine readable?
Like a combo. So I guess Google's getting a lot smarter with, people actually wanting information. So it used to be more focused on like AI, but now it's a lot more user experience. So that's why, again, content is key. So yeah, you don't want it to be just keyword stuffing because they do flag that. But
all right. So what do you think about this on the screen? So John has fingers put meta content.
She does SEO for dentists.
Okay. So
product SEO
Alex.
is quite different, but let's see.
But I mean, like, if you put this in there, would that be? I mean, like, this is what it would look like, right? Meta content equals.
So one other thing is character limits are a thing. So this is a pretty long meta title. So I would shorten it.
So John, get your shit together, buddy.
Get it together. But yeah, so I would shorten it, stick to like the biggest ones. But I think like veteran-owned small business is a good thing that people would search. Laser engraving, obviously, if it's laser, and then like stick to maybe the main material that you're using. That's probably what I would go for.
Top ones. By the way,
I concur.
Yeah.
By the way, Laser of Love says she really loves the new Alex. Not likes, by the way.
I try.
Loves the new Alex.
I just try to come in here and prove what I can. I see a lot of
that troll from behind you. You get that troll from behind you to like creep back out of the cave.
Oh, he can be me. Here's your Pokemon cards.
Hey.
Shuffle through those for a little bit while I keep running the show here.
And he's in the back up there, just like messing up cups.
I don't know if it was mentioned too when it was time to mention websites, but you also got WooCommerce and Squarespace as well.
Yeah. Oh, talk about Squares. Don't you use Square? Ooh, Square.
I don't. Squarespace is just another option, kind of like Wix. It's more pre-built than the other options I think we mentioned, where you just kind of pick a theme and then you throw crap at the wall and it sticks.
By the way, sometimes crap does not stick on the wall. True story.
Oh no, it sticks.
Oh, all right. Well, a lot of good fiber there. Good talk.
All right, switch back with me. I have something to show.
Get him in.
I don't know who you are or where you came from.
Go back to California, you hippie.
Yeah, hippie.
Go for a 10-mile jog, you athletically inclined person. Go touch grass.
So, I can't see.
Right there in front of you.
Oh, I can't see.
Where's my glasses? I lost my glasses.
Oh, they're all greasy.
You did that.
That's because he has hair. So
We need to make a
I don't know how many people we have that
Right.
actually listen to or watch the show that have
There's
CO2
three.
Galvo lasers.
Oh.
But this is a standard CO2 Galvo F data lens.
block your dumb faces.
And it's cool. It's got one
That is really-
zinc selenide lens, and it focuses your beam to a point and allows it to project around. This is a dual element CO2 Galvo F theta lens, which is stop. You're making this so hard.
That's what she
which
said.
is supposedly to help you get a finer dot size. It's almost like a compound lens on a gantry. The thing is, this lens is $200 and this lens is $1,000, and we got a full suite of them here in our shop to test them, and the preliminary results have been meh. Kyle and I thought we were going to break the industry. We thought we were going to break this like huge news and kind of rock the world for CO2 Galvo users. They're okay. They do a little to improve your dot size situation, but not anywhere near what I would expect for a lens that costs 4 times more than the standard one. So
UV would still be the better option for dot
the
size.
UV will always be the better option for everything if you're going for detail, but this could help improve your quality a little bit if you have $1,000 burning a hole in your pocket.
I mean, who
Yeah.
doesn't?
we were kind of
I mean,
thinking,
awesome.
compound style lens, what could go wrong? We could always use more detail, right?
Yeah.
And then we were thinking like, on a CO2 gantry, the dot size is like 25% of a normal dot size. So that's great. Let's just do that. No.
That wasn't the case.
not-
We were definitely a little disappointed. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're working on that. I'll probably do a video on it just to warn people that it's not worth the $1,000. But I just wanted to show that off while I was here.
Real quick thing going back to this. Is there a reference? So this is for the smartest person here, which is Rheannon.
Uh-oh.
Is there a reference for the meta tag? I wasn't aware that there was so basically he wasn't aware there's a character limit. Is there somewhere he can look to learn more about that,
Yeah,
or a suggestion?
I'll plug a really good website, Moz. It's MOZ, I think .com. But if you just search Moz, they'll come up, and they have like a bunch of good SEO resources.
Very nice.
Nice.
By the way, that's a huge thing to learn about.
Yeah.
It's so important because what ends up happening for anybody who was that actually asked? Was that Randy H who asked about e-commerce? I think, or was it? Oh no, it was Miley's marking and routing. So one of the things about using any online thing, if you use Shopify, if you use Etsy, if you use whatever, they're going to take a percentage of your sales, just so you know. So if you do use some of those, just be prepared to kind of bake that into your cost. But the thing is, you're getting all of the goods out of it. Like you're getting all of the ability to have, all the interface, everything ready to go. And then the only thing you really have to do, it's way cheaper, by the way, to have Shopify and Wix and all those things, WooCommerce, and then let people come to you. But the whole thing is you have to learn SEO or you will get no one to come to you. So
yeah, you have to be able to market yourself, and the way to market yourself in your website is to either pay for advertising and make it easier for people to find you. So you need those things.
Yeah. Somebody else found Brock.
Oh, good.
all right, so is the dot size on a CO2 Galvo really bad? By the way, Alex, your mic is behind you. So
Yeah, I know, because Rheannon was talking.
yeah, I got you.
Yes, absolutely atrocious. If you're used to engraving with fiber laser, this is your CO2 Galvo right here. That's essentially the difference, especially if you are on a standard 10 millimeter head, like the one that come on our fiber lasers and UV lasers. It's unusably terrible. If you upgrade to the 20 millimeter head and you upgrade to a beam expander that'll let you get a 20 millimeter beam into an f-theta lens, it will improve the situation. It's still not even remotely close to what you would expect from a fiber. It's certainly not what you will get from a diode or UV, but it helps. And then you kind of screw yourself a little bit. What Kyle and I are learning is that certain lenses can only take certain beam diameters. So like my 110 can't accept the entire 20 millimeters of the beam from a 20 millimeter head. And so what ends up happening is your corners are just gone. So you end up with like a circular workspace. I don't know if you've ever seen that option in EasyCAD where it allows you to have a square workspace or a circular one. That's kind of what you end up working with. So that can improve your situation, but there's always trade-offs. CO2 Galvo is a very trade-offy thing, which is not excellent. So, it's very, very good if you plan on doing just hundreds and hundreds of tumblers and hundreds of like cutting boards. And that's all you're doing. And you don't need a lot of detail, and you just need to whip them out and get them done fast, because you can finish jobs that take 8 minutes on a CO2 gantry in 40 seconds on the CO2 Galvo. That's what it's for. It's there for the speed. But if you're looking for detail, the gantry or something like the UV is going to be significantly better.
So I have a question for you going to that, because I know CO2 Galvo is on that's like the last thing I basically want. Right.
Yeah.
So how much?
Trinity.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've already kind of got the Trinity-ish.
Yeah, like the Galvo Trinity.
Oh yeah, that's fair. All right. By the way, did you see someone requested their coin? They have the Galvo Trinity. And
I did. I saw they called me out on Facebook. I saw it. So we'll have to get that up in the LA Marketplace shop. Yeah.
But so my question is, for detail wise, like what's the limit? Like how much detail do you lose? I mean, because like I know on a board they're going to be chunky anyways. So think about Kyle's cup. Kyle, can you grab that cup in case people like just got here and haven't seen it? Hot cocoa. Yeah. Like if you were going to do that on a tumbler, like a metal tumbler, right? Like a coated one.
Yeah.
How bad would it look compared to that?
I think the vast majority of that would come out okay. I think you might have a little problems where the beginning of the cursive R starts, or like that little flourish under the H in Christmas. The Santa Claus reindeer fine details you might start to struggle with a little bit. The arms for Santa. Yeah. So just like the really small stuff that very, not even small things, but small things that are very close to other small
I was about
things.
to say close, yeah. And the other thing is, instead of arms with like gloves that you can clearly see like gloves, it would just be nubs.
Right.
Okay.
But again, you can improve that with a better Galvo head and a better beam expander. And again, while not maybe $1,000 effective, they're still effective at reducing your dot size by, 10 to 20% maybe. So you can get a reduction by going to a like compound lens setup for the CO2 Galvo. It's just very expensive. So if you're going to go that way, I would get it, assuming you're going to spend some extra cash on some nice lenses for it, because they do make a difference. Randy's saying, so better to just go UV. Not necessarily. UV is very, very beautiful on wood, a very, very, very high detail. It's exceptionally, almost painfully so slow.
Yep.
Especially on wood. It's just slow.
It's not going to be production value stuff.
It's like Z marking on steel with a fiber. Slow.
My olive wood is like 400 or 200 millimeters per second. Just so you guys know.
You know what you're doing on the CO2 Galvo in 40 seconds, and you're doing on the gantry in 8 minutes. You might spend 16 on the UV to do.
But it's going to look so crisp.
It's going to look so crisp. It would be great for one-off stuff, really high-ticket wood items that you can't afford. A mess up. But again, if you're doing like a lot of batch work, you're doing hundreds of tumblers, hundreds of cutting boards. The CO2 Galvo cannot be beaten. You just have to be a little wiser about the artwork that you're accepting and using, and help customers make design decisions based around the laser that you plan on using for the job to make sure that it stays profitable and the customer stays happy. So there's a little critical thinking that needs to occur. That's not to say that the CO2 Galvo is useless. It just has trade-offs like
is it the right
the other kinds of lasers. Yeah.
All right, two more questions before we call it a night. So looking to buy some focal sticks for a fiber laser. Mine's too small to cut them. Does anyone sell them from our like? What's the guy who?
I have a link.
Okay.
It's going into the chat.
Kyle has a link to friend of the show.
Yep, makes all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
And then the last one, LaserTana Twitch. Whoop whoop. Caught my first episode of E-Stop today. Fun stuff, guys.
Thank you.
There you go.
Emergencystop.net, guys. If you like these two goofing around, go listen to it, because it's pretty much just like 90 minutes of that every other week or so. It's a good time. There's 4 episodes out now. We just uploaded the newest episode, Diapers Gone Wild. So if you want to give that a listen, you can head over to emergencystop.net and check that out. Yep. It's a good one.
Let's see. Time for bed. Oh, yeah. Jack said it's time for bed. See you, buddy.
It is time for bed.
Yep. We just broke 1 hour, so there you go.
I need to have a doppelganger here more often so I can just wander off in the middle of episodes and not worry about the fallback for that.
You basically had the same amount of information as you did.
I was here for the Shopify explanation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I could not have done a better job myself.
It's got shop in the title.
Yeah. End of phi. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Laser Source podcast. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review. 5-star rating goes a long way. You don't have to actually write a review for the show. Just leave a comment in the review box and let me know which Alex is more convincing, Alex or Alex. I'm really looking forward to hearing your feedback on that. So go ahead and leave that in the review description on Apple Podcasts if you're listening to that. If you're here live, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you coming by. Chris is whispering to me to plug one last time Brock. Go get Brock. It's in the description. Instagram.com/Brock, BROCK.the.bulldog. Go check that out. And thanks to Chris and Rheannon for coming and hanging out tonight.
Anytime.
It's great to see you guys as always. And hopefully we'll see some continued success with the ATEZR. And we might actually be able to look forward to a review on that soon. I know a lot of people are actually asking about that one. So that'll be cool. Don't forget to cross your T's and meta your E's, guys, for your SEO. Kyle, Matt, you guys are looking handsome as always. I love and appreciate you both.
Thank you for being on the show.
By the way, I wanted to appreciate the two of them because Kyle and I just phoned it in on the computer. They just flew across the country to be there live. That's a lot of dedication.
It's a lot of dedication. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And then they'll undo that progress and fly back in a couple days. So
what a dick.
Yeah. Assholes. That's all we got for this one, guys. We will see you for the next episode of the Laser Source podcast on Thursday. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Pew, pew, pew.
Also, Rip Boyce.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yep.